Very, very good morning to all of you, my friends. So, welcome back. Good morning, Hardik. So, in the last few sessions, we discussed the concepts of material and labor variances. And I hope you guys are thorough with what I have discussed till now. So, let's move towards the last part of the chapter wherein we'll be investigating the fixed and variable overhead department. So, let's start with fixed overheads first. Thereafter, we'll start with variable overhead. Now, whenever you guys find a question on fixed overhead, always try to arrange the question as follows. Always try to arrange the question as follows. That is budget and actual. In 99% cases, you will find the question in this format only. But let's say if there is any word problem, then try to convert it in this format. Now, let's say information is given in the question as regards days. Budgeted days were 25 and actual days were 26. Let me check, Manvi. So this much information in general will be given in the question for you guys when you will find a question on fixed overhead. So let's start with the first part, that is fixed overhead cost variance. When talking about fixed overhead cost variance, it talks about under or over absorption of overhead. I repeat again, when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, it talks about under or over absorption of overhead. Now, how you calculate under or over absorption of overhead? First thing, you have to identify the absorption rate. Thereafter, you have to apply the absorption rate to actual hours or units to calculate the absorbed overheads. And then we do compare these absorbed overheads with actual overheads to find under or over absorption of overhead. This is what we used to do in overheads. I repeat again, what we first used to do, we used to first calculate the absorption rate. Absorption rate कैसे calculate करते थे? Overheads divided by hours or units. This is how we used to calculate absorption rate. That absorption rate or budgeted rate or predetermined rate is applied to actual hours or actual unit to calculate absorbed overheads. And these absorbed overheads were compared with actual overheads. These absorbed overheads were compared with actual overheads to calculate under or over absorption. So the same process will be following here also. So how we will calculate absorption rate? 45,000 divided by 30,000 units. This is how we will calculate the absorption rate. Now this absorption rate will be applied since we'll be getting the rate per unit. So this absorption rate will be applied to the actual units. My actual units are how much? 32,500. This is the first step where we are calculating absorption rate. Thereafter, we will apply this absorption rate to actual units. This is how we will get absorbed overheads. So what will be my absorbed overheads? So this will be my absorbed overheads. And my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. So this is 1250 adverse. This is all what about fixed overhead cost variance. Good morning, Akarma Ansari. Herein, while calculating cost variance, we'll be using units. Hardik, can you guys tell me it is under absorption or over absorption? Waiting for your answers, guys. Can you guys tell me it is under absorption or over absorption? Waiting for your answers, guys. Very good, Hardik. Yes, guys. Under absorption or over absorption. Still, I have not received answers from many of the students. So I repeat again, guys, for the students who have joined bit late, we are starting with fixed overheads. Most of the time, the question will be in this format only. But if it is not in this format, then you have to arrange it in this format. Further, when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, it talks about under or over absorption of overhead. So when talking about under or over absorption of overhead, first thing, 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So we will get the absorption rate. That absorption rate is applied to actual unit to calculate absorbed overheads. These are my absorbed overheads. And these are my actual overheads. So 48,750 is my absorbed overheads. My actual overheads are 50,000. This is how I got 1250 adverse. So as I asked that it is under absorption or over absorption. So very simple, guys. If absorbed overheads are less, it is under absorption. So herein my absorbed overheads are less than actual overhead. So we can say it is under absorption. So fixed overhead cost variance, very simple, 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500, how much? 48,750. But my actual overheads were how much? 50,000. So how much extra? 1250 extra, we call it as adverse for the company. From here, two parts. Next one is fixed overhead expenditure variance. So my budgeted fixed overheads are 45,000 and my actual fixed overheads are 50,000. So how much extra we have spent? 5,000. So we call it as adverse. I repeat again, when talking about expenditure, fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. So how much should be my expenditure? 45,000 should be my budgeted expenditure. However, my actual expenditure is 50,000, 5,000 extra. So we can say it is adverse for the company. Anyone with any doubts in these two parts, you guys can please post your queries. Yes, anyone having any doubts? Tambeshwari, Sanya, Hardik. Yes, Hardik. The base will be the units. Anjali, Sanya, Tambeshwari, any doubts, guys? Anil, Nitin, any doubts? Pranav, Dev Kumar, I hope you are thorough with what I have discussed. I think you joined a bit late. Now, next is fixed overhead volume variance. So, when talking about volume, it talks about units. No, Tambeshwari. So, herein, when talking about volume variance, it talks about units. When talking about volume variance, it talks about units. So, herein, how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture. How many units we were supposed to manufacture? 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture. But actually, we manufactured 32,500 units. We were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but actual units what we manufactured were 32,500 units. So how many units extra we manufactured? Very simple, guys. 2,500 units extra we manufactured. It's a good sign for the company since we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units. So 2,500 units extra we manufactured. So it's a good sign for the company into the budgeted rate. When talking about budgeted rate, here, since we have calculated units, so we'll be calculating the rate per unit. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So per unit rate will be how much? 1.5 per unit. How come this 1.5 per unit? Very simple, guys. The budgeted rate overheads are 45,000 divided by 30,000 units. The budgeted overheads were 45,000 for 30,000 units. So per unit rate will be how much? 1.5 per unit. So this will be 3750 favorable. I repeat again, since the actual units manufactured are more than budgeted units, so it's a good sign for the company. So that's why this will be favorable. So again, I repeat, volume variance, 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture. Actually, we manufactured 32,500 units, 2,500 units extra we manufactured into the rate per unit. Since we have calculated the units, so we will multiply it by rate per unit. So 2,500 into 1.5, this is how we'll get 3750. Anyone having any doubts and queries? Further, fixed overhead expenditure variance plus volume variance will be cost variance. I repeat again, fixed overhead expenditure variance plus volume variance will be cost variance. So 5,000 adverse, 3750 favorable, this will be 1250. Anyone with any doubts or queries, you guys can please post your queries. Good morning, Ankit. Now, next is fixed overhead. Next is fixed overhead calendar variance. Now, Good morning, Prakriti. So when talking about calendar variance, it talks about days. When talking about volume, it talks about units. So when talking about calendar variance, it talks about days. So herein, good morning, Sai Kiran. So herein, when talking about days, we were supposed to work for 25 days. Again, when talking about calendar variance, what it says that herein in this question, we were supposed to work for 25 days in a month. But we actually work for 26 days. Again, guys, please pay attention to what I'm saying. So when talking about the target set that we have to work, the company set up the target that my workers have to work for only 25 days in a month. But my worker did a great job. Instead of 25 days, they are working for 26 days. 1 day extra they work. Excuse me, sir. Manish, sir. Manish, sir, are you there? एक मिनट ऑफलाइन करेंगे आप सेशन. 1 second, guys. Welcome back, guys. So now, when talking about calendar variance, it talks about days. So 25 days my worker were supposed to work in office, but they did a great job. They worked for 26 days. 1 day extra they worked. Again, forget about efficiency. कि क्या efficiently इन लोगों ने काम किया है. The point is, the company has advised that my worker has to report for 25 days, but they reported to office for 26 days. 1 day extra they reported. One day extra they reported. Now, since it is rate day, so we'll be taking the rate per day. So 45,000 divided by 25. Very important, guys. This calculation is easy, but this part, it will be favorable. Very important, guys. Do make a note of it that it will be favorable. Again, focus on the language, what I'm saying. That company advised that you should report for 25 days. But my worker, instead of working for 25 days, they worked for 26 days. 1 day extra they worked. So it's a good sign for the company. That's why it is favorable. Again, I'm not talking about efficiency. कि कितना effectively काम किया. Effectively we'll be taking it separately. But when talking about the number of days, you were supposed to work for 25 days. We actually worked for 26 days. 1 day extra we worked. So that's why it's favorable for the company. If you guys have any doubts in calendar variance, you guys can please post your query. See here in fixed overhead, the trickier part is that it will be adverse or it will be favorable. The calculation is very simple. When talking about cost variance, 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500, how much? 48,750. But my actual overheads are how much? 50,000. So 1250 adverse. Expenditure straight away, since fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. So 45,000 were my budgeted expenditure and actual expenditures are 50,000. So that's why 5,000 adverse. When talking about volume variance, again, we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units. We did a great job and we manufactured 2,500 units extra. Since it is number of units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit. So rate per unit will be 45,000 divided by 30,000. That is 1.5 per unit. Now the next part is calendar variance. Again, we were supposed to be present in office for 25 days, but we were present for 26 days. That is 1 day extra more than what company expected. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why this will be favorable. Till now, anyone having any doubts or queries, you guys can please post your queries. Else we'll start with the next variance. Since I said that I'll be using, since it is day, so I'll be using the rate per day. So 45,000 overhead for 25 days. So my rate per day will be 1,800. Now next is fixed overhead capacity variance. When talking about capacity variance, see, calendar variance talks about days. Herein the capacity variance talks about hours. This variance talks about hours. Now, my budgeted hours are 30,000, my actual hours are 33,000. But these 30,000 hours are for 25 days and actual 33,000 are for 26 days. See, if the days are not given, in the question, we can say that, okay, we have the capacity to work for 30,000 hours. We actually work for 33,000 hours. So 3,000 hours we worked above our capacity. But here, the hours are increasing. Why? Because of the number of days also, they are increasing. So here, when talking about capacity variance, very simple, guys, very important. I am writing the explanation for your reference so that while revising, you can figure out that, okay, this was the reason. So very simple, just like units and days, hours also, we have the capacity to work for how many hours? 30,000 hours, but in 25 days. So in 26 days, हमारा capacity क्या था? We have the capacity to work for how many hours? See, 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, how much was our capacity? We have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours. How come 31,200? 30,000 hours in 25 days. So 26 days, we have the capacity to work for 31,200 hours in 26 days. However, in these 26 days, However, in these 26 days, how many hours we worked? In these 26 days, we worked for 33,000 hours. In these 26 days, इन 26 दिनों में हमें काम कितना करना चाहिए था? 31,200 hours only. But in these 26 days, how many hours we actually worked? 33,000 hours. मतलब in these 26 days, 1,800 hours we worked above our capacity. 1800 hours we worked above our capacity. Therefore, 1800 hours, since it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate per unit per day or per hour. Very simple, guys. Since it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate per hour. So 45,000 divided by 30,000 hours, so it will be 1.5 per hour. So this will be 2,700. Very important, guys. This will be favorable. This variance will be favorable. Again, do pay attention to what I'm saying. Do pay attention to what I'm saying. That we have the capacity to work for 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, how much was our capacity? 31,200. Now in these 26 days, क्या हमने 31,200 काम किया? No, we worked above our capacity. That is, instead of 31,200 hours, we worked for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours we worked extra in these 26 days. It means we worked about our capacity. So it's a very good sign for the company that workers ने 26 दिनों में जहां पे 31,200 hours काम करना चाहिए था, उन लोगों ने 33,000 hours काम किया. 1,800 hours they worked extra. So it's a good sign for the company. So that's why it is favorable. So anyone else with any doubts? Very important. This part is the key, that ये variance adverse होगा या favorable होगा. See, most of the students who makes mistakes in fixed overhead is regarding adverse or favorable. So very important, guys. Just do pay attention to what I'm saying. Accordingly, you can frame the concepts. Anyone else with any doubts or queries, guys? When talking about how come I got this rate per hour 1.5, 45,000 overheads divided by 30,000 hours. This is how I got this rate 1.5 per hour. So fixed overhead cost, expenditure, volume, calendar, capacity. Now next is fixed overhead efficiency variance. Now when talking about efficiency, what efficiency says? That काम कितने घंटे में होना चाहिए था और कितने घंटे में किया. So efficiency is very simple, that whether we worked productively or not. So see, management has given the target that 30,000 units should be manufactured in how many hours? Management has set the target that 30,000 units should take 30,000 hours. It means what? One unit should take max to max how much? 1 hour. This was the target set by the management, that one unit should be manufactured in 1 hour. Actually, how many units we manufactured? 32,500 units. So these 32,500 units should be manufactured in how many hours? 32,500 hours. 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. So it means one unit should take not more than 1 hour. So actual production was 32,500. So it should take not more than 32,500 hours. But actual hours we took is how much? 33,000 hours. So these 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours, but we actually took 33,000 hours. So how many hours we took extra? 500 hours. 500 hours we took extra. Can you guys tell me it is efficiency or inefficiency? We worked efficiently or inefficiently? Very good, Hardik, Vedai, Tambeshwari, Sanya, Dev Kumar, Dilip, Pranav. Very good, Bhavna, Bhaskar, Nitin, Manvi, Nayan. I think Nayan, you were absent in the previous class. Shweta, Akrama, very good guys. What about Manvi and Sanya? Srinivas, Neeru, Saundarya, Nitin, Mallu, Kasak. So they took 500 hours extra. So it's what? Inefficiency. Since it is hours, so we will multiply it by what? See, here it is units. So we multiply it by rate per unit. Here it was days. So we multiply it with the rate per day. Here it is hours. So multiplied with the rate per hour. So here also it is hours. So we'll multiply it by rate per hour. That is 1.5 per hour. So this will be 750 adverse. I hope you are thorough with the concepts, Nayan. So very simple, guys. When talking about efficiency, 1 unit should not take more than 1 hour. So my task was supposed to be completed in 32,500 hours, but these 32,500 units were manufactured in 33,000 hours. 500 hours हमने extra लिए. So it is inefficiency. See, here hours were more in capacity, hours were more. But what it says that we worked above our capacity. See, many students will say, sir, इधर hours ज़्यादा लगे, so why favorable? इधर hours ज़्यादा लगे, why adverse? So focus on the language. When talking about capacity, it says how much was our capacity and how many hours we worked. हमारे कितने hours की capacity थी और हमने कितने hours काम किया. Herein, efficiency says that in how much time the work was supposed to be completed and in how much time we actually completed. So just focus on the language. Rest, it's a very easy part. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? I'll give you time to copy everything. But in the meanwhile, if you guys have any doubts or queries, you guys can first post your queries. Waiting for your queries, guys. Very good, Nancy. Very good, Raman. Anyone with any doubts or queries? Yes, it needs lots of practice. Tambeshwari, I'll take one query session and I'll discuss this part separately. So let's refresh what we have discussed till now. See, when talking about fixed overhead, always in most of the cases, you will find the question in this format only. That is budget and actual. But if any word problem is given, then you can convert this word problem into budget and actual. Now, when talking about cost variance, what it says, 45,000 units for, 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500, how much should be my absorbed overhead? 48,750. But my actual overheads were how much? 50,000. So how much extra? 1,250 extra. So we can say that it is adverse. Expenditure variance, again, budgeted cost minus actual cost, we will get it as favorable or adverse. So here in my budgeted expenditures are 45,000 and my actual expenditures are 50,000. So 5,000 more. So that's why it is adverse. When talking about volume variance, again, we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units, but we actually manufactured 32,500 units, 2,500 units extra we manufactured into, since it is units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit. So this will be 3750 favorable. When talking about calendar variance, how many days we were supposed to work? 25 days. But we actually work for how many days? 26 days. 1 day extra we worked. So it's a good sign for the company into the rate per day. That is 45,000 divided by 25. So this will be favorable. When talking about capacity variance, what was our capacity? 30,000 hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, how much was our capacity? We were having a capacity of 31,200 hours. But we actually worked for how many hours? 33,000 hours. Means 1,800 hours we worked above our capacity. It's a good sign for the company. Into, since it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate per hour. So this will be favorable. Next is efficiency. Efficiency, that कितने घंटे में काम होना चाहिए था और कितने घंटे में हुआ. So these 32,500 units should be manufactured in 32,500 hours. But we actually took 33,000 hours. How much hours extra we used? 500 hours. So these 500 hours is my inefficiency. So we can say it is adverse for the company. 1.5 per hour. See, this is the rate per hour. So anyone having any doubts, guys? I'm done with the explanation. It's a bit on the trickier side. But trust me, guys, once you learn the concepts, it's very easy. Ankit Mishra, again, see, whatever the explanation I have written it for your reference, that is, we have the capacity to work for how many hours? 31,200 hours in 26 days. So my actual days are 26. So 26 days में हमारा capacity क्या था? 31,200 hours. But in these 26 days, we work for how many hours? 33,000 hours. मतलब 26 days में 31,200 hours ही काम करना था. But in these 26 days, my worker did a great job and they worked for 33,000 hours. That is 1,800 hours extra they work. So it's a good sign for the company. That's why it will be favorable. No, Akrama. Yes, we are taking only the budgeted rates only. Whether as I said, fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production. So we have calculated the expenditure variance accordingly. But when talking about cost variance, it talks about under or over absorption of overhead. That's why I have taken it proportionally. Mallu Jadar, for this, you have to learn. Mallu Jadar, you have to just check out the lectures of overhead. We have already discussed in overhead that what is under absorption or over absorption. Sir, 1.5 multiplies, please explain, not understand. So see, here and from here onwards, I am taking the budgeted rate only. So since it is units, so I am taking the rate per unit. So 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So per unit rate will be how much? 1.5. Herein it is days. It is 1 day. It is 1 day. So I'm taking the budgeted rate per day. That is 45,000 divided by 25. I'll get the rate per day. That is 1,800 per day. Here I have calculated hours. That is 1,800 hours. So herein I'll be multiplying it by the rate per hour. What will be the rate per hour? 45,000 divided by 30,000. So we will get the rate per hour, that is 1.5. So 45,000 divided by 30,000 hours. Again, here it is 500 hours. So I'm multiplying it by budgeted rate per hour, that is 1.5. Guys, I'll give you time to copy, but just whatever is running in your mind, or if any queries are there, you guys can please post your queries. I mean, there are chances the examiner can ask question on fixed overheads also. So it's very important. Yes, asking everyone again. Bhaskar, Bhumika, Dilip, Kasak, Manvi. Any doubts, guys? Ankit, hopefully your query is resolved. Sai Kiran Kumar, hopefully your query is resolved. Vedai, I hope you are thorough with all the concepts. Tambeshwari, Nayan, Nitin, Bhaskar. Anyone having any doubts, guys? Neha, I need to check. Still, the schedule is not updated. Very good, Hardik. Yes, if the days are not there, then yes, your answer is correct. Very good, Hardik. Yes, anyone else with any doubts? Sanya, Manvi, any doubts? Kasak, Ankit, Akrama, Nancy, Raman, and using the budgeted rate, Tambeshwari, Nayan Patil, any doubts, guys? Okay, so giving you 3 to 4 minutes time to copy the explanation. Do copy the explanation and write your comment. See, herein, no need to write. I have already written the comment that what we have understood and what we are doing. But rest all, whatever convenient for you, whatever you feel like, just write it down. That, okay, this is what Sir taught and this is what I understood. So wherever it is, when you're learning the concept, try to write the concepts also that, okay, this was the thing that Sir taught us. So take 3 to 4 minutes time and then write, copy everything and do write all your comments in your notebook. So giving you 3 to 4 minutes time. Then you, Dev Kumar, can you please ask your query, post your query in detail? I'm not getting what you are asking. Dev Kumar, can you please post your query in detail? I'm not getting what you're asking. Yes, Ankit, fixed overhead calendar variance. It talks about that how many days we were supposed to work and how many days we actually worked, Ankit. I'll be discussing this part separately. Mallu, don't worry. Okay, so days worked are 25, but hours worked are 33,000. How it is possible? See, in 25, let's say the company has a team of, let's say, 500 workers. So collectively, they work for 33,000 hours. Collectively, they work for 33,000 hours. In 25 days, that's what it is. Dev Kumar, hopefully your query is resolved. I'm coming to this point only, Tambeshwari, don't worry. Now let's take a situation in which days are not given in the question. So this is the only question given: hours, units, and fixed overheads. I repeat again, guys. Herein, let's say days are not given in the question. आपको क्वेश्चन में डेज के रिलेटेड कोई इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन ही नहीं है. So it means what? The budgeted days and actual days are same. So if the days are not given, what will be the solution? So when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, there will be no change. In fixed overhead cost variance, there will be no change straight away. 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 48,750. My actual overheads were how much? 50,000. That is 1250 adverse. Again, there will be no change in fixed overhead expenditure variance. So fixed overhead expenditure variance, same like before, that is 45,000 were my budgeted overhead and my actual overheads are 50,000. So this will be 5,000 adverse. Next is fixed overhead volume variance. Again, there will be no change in volume variance. 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture, and actual units manufactured were 32,500 units. So 2,500 units extra we manufactured. Since it is units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit, that is 45,000 divided by 30,000. So this will be 1.5 per unit. So if days are not given, there will be no change in cost, expenditure, and volume. Now, since no information is given in the question as regards the number of days, so we won't be able to calculate calendar variance. So calendar variance calculate ही नहीं होगा. So directly we will calculate fixed overhead capacity variance. Directly we will calculate fixed overhead capacity variance. So again, since the days are not given, so what we will assume that the days are same. So here we can straight away see that our capacity was for how many hours? 30,000 hours. We work for how many hours? 33,000 hours. How many hours extra we worked? 3,000 hours extra we worked into the rate per hour, that is 1.5 per hour. So this will be 4,500 favorable. Since days are not given, so we will assume that the days are same. Since the number of days are not given, so we will assume that the days are same. So here in 30,000 hours was our capacity. We actually work for how many hours? 33,000 hours. So how many hours extra we work? 3,000 hours extra we work into the rate per hour, that is 1.5. So this will be 4,500 favorable. Next is efficiency variance. Again, there will be no change in efficiency variance. There will be no change in efficiency variance. Very simple. One unit should not take more than 1 hour. So 30 to 500 units, it should be completed in 30 to 500 hours. But for these 30 to 500 units, how many hours we actually took? 33,000 hours. So 500 hours extra into the rate per hour, that is 1.5, will get 750 adverse. So first thing, if the days are not given, we will not calculate calendar variance. Second thing, straight away we can calculate capacity variance. Because when talking about capacity variance, it says that it talks about hours. So herein 30,000 hours was our capacity and 33,000 hours we actually manufactured. So we worked above our capacity. Again, who is saying, Tambeshwari, what's the query? Can you please tell me? So Hardik, as you said that yes, 30 to 33,000 hours, your answer was correct. Very good, Hardik. Ambeshwari, hopefully your query is resolved. If the days are not given, how to calculate the variances? So herein calendar variance will not be calculated. Capacity variance will be calculated straight away. And rest all the other variance, there will be no change. Srinivas and Tambeshwari, hopefully your query is resolved. When you will work in a manufacturing concern, Ankit, you will come to know about the utility of this chapter. Yes, Tambeshwari and Srinivas, any doubts, guys? Capacity, it is calculated only in hours. Tambeshwari, I hope this part is clear that why it is favorable, that is the key. So very simple, Tambeshwari, our capacity was to work for 30,000 hours. We actually worked for 33,000 hours. 3,000 hours we worked above our capacity. That's why it is favorable. Anyone else? Good, Tambeshwari. Yes, Dev Kumar, since that no information is given as regards days, so we'll assume that there is the budgeted days and actual days are same. So no need to calculate calendar variance. Anyone else? I request you guys to copy the solution then. Now let's take a situation. Wherein no information is given as regards hours. No information is given as regards hours. Hours के related कोई भी information नहीं है. But yes, the information related to days is given in the question. So first thing, if this is the question and there are no information given as regards hours, so again the cost variance will be the same. That is 45,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500, how much? 48,750. And my actual overheads are 50,000. So this is 1250 adverse. Expenditure variance, again no change because they have nothing to do with hours. So 45,000 are my budgeted overheads and my actual overheads are 50,000. So that is 5,000 adverse. When talking about volume variance also, again, I'm repeating the concepts again and again to make you guys memorize that, okay, what I'm talking and what all, what all concepts are there. So that's why I'm repeating again and again so that you guys can, once you guys will listen to me, then again, by the time this chapter gets over, you guys will be, आपके दिमाग में सब कुछ fit हो जाएगा. So that's why I'm repeating again and again. So volume variance also very simple. Straight away, we were supposed to manufacture 30,000 units. Actual units manufactured were 32,500. 2,500 units extra be manufactured, so it is favorable. Now, very important, guys. Herein, when talking about calendar variance, it will be calculated in the same way. That is, we were supposed to work for 25 days, but we work for 26 days. 1 day extra we worked into the rate per day, that is 1,800 per day. So this will be favorable, 1,800 favorable. Now, since no information is given in the question as regards hours, so capacity variance will not be calculated. Capacity variance will not be calculated. But yes, we will calculate efficiency variance. So can you guys tell me how to calculate efficiency variance? Waiting for your answers, guys. Can you guys tell me how we will calculate efficiency variance? Well said, Vedai. Very good, Vedai. Waiting for your answers. I know it's Sunday. You guys must be sleepy, but yes, do actively participate in the session. So I've got answer from Vedai. My question is how we will calculate efficiency variance. Anyone ready with the answer? Yes, Hardik, Dev Kumar, Tambeshwari. Very good, Dev. Very good, Akarma. Okay, you have calculated only. Very good, Hardik. Any idea, guys? No, Niru, it is incorrect. No, Kasak. You have calculated volume variance 30,000, 32,500 into 1.5. So the answer is incorrect. Let me check, Bhavna. Very good, Hardik. Vedai, very good. Let me check the final answer. Yes, rest everyone, guys. How we will calculate efficiency variance? I'm waiting for your answers. Anjali, Bhaskar, Sai Kiran, Anuradha, Dilip. Very good, Anjali. Let me check. So see, herein we have to calculate efficiency. What efficiency says that how much time we should have taken and how much time we actually took. काम कितने आवर्स या कितने टाइम में होना चाहिए था और कितना टाइम हमने लिया. Now see here in this question, no information is given as regards hours, so we will take days. So when talking about efficiency variance, we'll be taking the help of days. So see, again the same concept. 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture in 25 days. 30,000 units we were supposed to manufacture in 25 days. So in one day, how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 1800 units. 25 days में 30,000 units manufacture करना चाहिए था. It means one day, how many units? 1800. In one day, 1800. So actually we work for how many days? 26 days. So how many units we were supposed to manufacture? Sorry. In one day, 1200 units. Sorry guys. So 25 days, 30,000 units. So one day, how many units? 1200 units. So in 26 days, how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 31,200 units. So in 26 days, we were supposed to manufacture 31,200 units. But in these 26 days, how many units we actually manufactured? 32,500 units. In short, in 26 days, we were supposed to manufacture 31,200 units. But in these 26 days, how many units we actually manufactured? 32,500. That is 1,300 units extra we manufactured. So it is my efficiency or inefficiency? Waiting for your answers, guys. So 1,300 units extra we manufactured in 26 days. So it is efficiency or inefficiency? Very good, Hardik. Everyone, very good. All your answers are correct. So it's efficiency. So this will be favorable. Since it is units, so we'll be taking the rate per unit. That is 45,000 divided by 30,000 units. So it will be 1.5 per unit. So this will be 1950 favorable. Neeru, it is not inefficiency, it is efficiency, because simple and clear that 26 days, how many units we were supposed to manufacture? 31,200. But in 26 days, how many units we actually manufactured? 32,500. 1,300 units extra we manufactured. It's a good sign for the company. So it's it's favorable. I request you guys to copy the solution. There will be separate classes for September also, Neha. So don't worry. In the meanwhile, you should start preparing for your September exam so you can check the recorded session. I think you are joining this lecture for the first time. Yes, Hardik, either of the ways the answer is correct, my dear. But this is the easiest way. No worries, Neha. You can start preparing you can check the recorded lectures and you can start preparing, Neha. But mostly for September attempt, I think the lectures are going to start in February or March. I'm talking about costing. Rest all subjects I'm not aware about. Yes, Hardik, both the approaches are correct. Kasak Yadav, sir, if hours not given, then days taken to calculate efficiency variance. Yes, Kasak. So if hours are not given, then days will be taken to calculate efficiency variance. Now, next is in capacity variance, it's directly taken or proportionate taken for days. So if hours are not given, the first thing is capacity variance will not be calculated. And further efficiency variance will be calculated using the number of days. Now let's take one more situation. Idle hours are given, let's say 200 hours. Let's take a situation wherein idle hours are also given, that is 200 hours. Let's say in question idle hours are given, that is 200. So this is the question now. So herein no change in cost variance, no change in expenditure variance, no change in volume variance, no change in calendar variance, and no change in capacity variance. Now herein we will calculate one more variance, that is idle time variance. How many hours? 200 hours. Into we'll be taking the budgeted rate only for everything. So here in the budgeted rate per hour is how much? 1.5 per hour. So this will be 300 adverse. Why adverse? Because all idle hours are always lost to the company. Now, very important, when talking about efficiency variance, see guys, what we discussed in efficiency variance, 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. 1 unit, 1 hour. Now, very important guys, the actual units manufactured were 30 to 500. So the work was supposed to be completed in how many hours? 30 to 500 hours. But we actually took how many hours? 33,000 hours. So till now we discussed that 500 hours was my inefficiency. But herein, in this question, it is given that 200 are my idle hours. So of this 500 hours, 200 is my idle hours. So inefficiency will be of how many hours? 300 hours only. This will be 450 adverse. Again, I repeat, guys. Previously, we calculated inefficiency of 500 hours, right? Previously, we calculated inefficiency of 500 hours. Now, this 500 hours, 200 hours is idle time and 300 hours is inefficiency. That's it. So, जो भी आप inefficiency calculate करते हैं, see, herein the work was supposed to be completed in 30 to 500 hours, but we actually took 33,000 hours. So 500 hours extra we took. Of that 500 hours, 200 hours are my idle time and 300 hours is my inefficiency. So I request you guys to copy this part also. So the first part we discussed full-fledged question. Second part, what if in case days are not given? Third part, what if in case hours are not given? Fourth case, what if in case idle hours are also given? So now whatever the queries you have related to fixed overhead, you guys can please post your query. I'm done with the explanation part. I'll be giving you a question now to solve it in the session. And I want correct answers from your end when I address every student query. So I want my students to post their answer. Be it right, be it wrong. Whatever it is, do post your answers. Very important, guys. Anyone else with any doubts? Yes, Kasak, Hardik, Neeru, Manvi, Prakriti, Ankit, Raman. Nayan Patil, any doubts? Bhaskar, Sai Kiran. Okay, Manvi, what's the problem? Admin sir? Admin sir? Admin sir, are you there? Admin sir, are you there? Manvi, can you unmute yourself? Admin sir, are you there? Manish sir, are you there? One second, Manvi. Manish sir, are you there? Okay, I'll explain it right away. So see, when talking about idle time, I think the technical guy is missing. Anyways, so when talking about idle time, one we see first calculate 500 hours. I hope you are thorough with how to calculate 500 hours. That is my inefficiency. That is the work was supposed to be completed in 30 to 500 hours, but we actually took 33,000 hours. So 500 hours extra we took. Now of this 500 hours, 200 hours are given straight away in the question only that it is idle time. So of this 500 hours we have calculated, 200 hours is my what idle time. So how much hours we are left out with? So out of 500 hours, 200 hours are my idle time. So balance 300 hours will be my inefficiency. I hope this part is clear to you, Manvi. Kambeshwari sir, hours based take more efficiency. So it depends upon question to question, Tambeshwari. Since hours were not given only, so we have calculated efficiency using days. In certain cases, if hours are given, it can be efficient, and in case there may be there are possibilities that in days also it can be inefficiency. So the question can be anything. Anyone else, guys? Nitin Prajapati, as I've already discussed when talking about how come I calculated 500 hours. See, 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. So one unit, how many hours? 1 hour. So 30 to 500 units, how many hours we should have taken? 30 to 500 hours. But for these 30 to 500 units, how many hours we actually took? 33,000 hours. So this is how I got 500 hours. Very simple. Again, one unit should take not more than 1 hour. So my 30 to 500 units should not take more than 30 to 500 hours. But the work was completed instead of 30 to 500 hours, we actually took 33,000 hours. 500 hours extra we took. Now, of this 500 hours, 200 hours, these 500 hours we took extra. Of this 500 hours, 200 hours are my idle hours, and 300 hours is my inefficiency. It can be any. See, at the end of the day, the variance are to be denoted in rupees only, not in units, hours. So that's why we are applying the rate and converting it into rupees. So very important, guys. Calendar capacity efficiency will be volume. So the total of calendar variance plus capacity plus efficiency will be volume, and volume plus expenditure will be cost variance. I request you guys to copy the solution. Any doubt, Sanya, Kasak, Neeru, Vedahi, Dev? Any doubt? Srinivas, are you there? Any doubt, Srinivas? So this is the question for you guys, just to check whether you guys are thorough with the concepts or not. So fixed overhead cost variance, expenditure variance, and volume variance. I want these three answers only: cost variance, expenditure variance, and volume variance. Production volume variance is basically fixed overhead volume variance. Kambeshwari. So waiting for your answers now. I just want three answer: cost, volume, and expenditure. Fixed overhead cost variance, fixed overhead expenditure variance, and fixed overhead volume variance. I want these three answers only. I've got answer from Nitin, so let me check. But again, Nitin, post all the three answers. Very good that you have posted cost variance, but do post all the answers. Very good. Rest everyone waiting for your answers. So I have received all the answers from Hardik. So let me check. Dev Kumar, very good. Hardik, very good. Nitin. I've received answers from Sanya. Nitin Prajapati, do check the cost variance, please, once again. Very good, Anjali. Still, I've not received answers from many students. So very good. I've received answer from Anjali, Sanya, Dev Kumar, Hardik. Nitin, please recheck your answers. Okay, very good, Dilip. Very good, Vedai. So Kasak, Nayan, Neeru. Very good, Bhavna. Sai Kiran Kumar, Rati Malini. Very good, Saundarya. Niveta, Shweta. So I've got answer from Raman also. Very good, Raman. I've received answer from Akruma also. Very good, Akruma. Okay. So Bhavna, Mallu. Very good, Nayan. So when talking about cost variance, again, very simple. 4 lakh overheads for how many units? So for 1 lakh 4,000, how much should be my expenditure? My actual cost is how much? 4 lakh 50,000. So this is 34,000 adverse. Expenditure variance straight away 4 lakh minus 4 lakh 50,000. So this is 50,000 adverse. Volume variance, we were supposed to manufacture 1 lakh units, but we manufactured 1 lakh 4,000 units. 4,000 units extra we manufactured into the rate per unit, that is 4 lakh divided by 1 lakh. So this will be 4 per unit. So this will be 16,000 favorable. And I think I got correct answer from everyone. Very good, guys. In fact, Nitin also, I think you posted it by mistake. So your answer is correct. Very good, Nitin. So now I want answer on calendar variance, capacity variance, and efficiency variance. So I've received answer from Neeru, Bhaskar, Nitin, Kasak, Prakriti, Ambeshwari, Shweta, Nayan, Mallu, Saundarya, Bhavna, Vedai, Dilip, Anjali, Nitin, Sanya. Very good, guys. Hardik and all. So now do write capacity, efficiency, and calendar because it's everywhere C and C. So do post calendar, capacity, and efficiency. Do write the complete name. So waiting for your answers. So I've received answer from Dev Kumar and Nitin. Very good, guys. Waiting for your answers. So I think Dev Kumar is the first one to answer. So let me check Dev. You can check the answer. You can cross tally the answer. Calendar plus capacity plus efficiency will be volume. So calendar, capacity and efficiency. I have received answer from Hardik. So I think Hardik, your total is matching. Dev Kumar, please check that whether the capacity plus calendar plus efficiency is equals to fixed overhead volume variance or not. So I think Hardik, all your answers are correct, and Dev Kumar, incorrect answer. So very good, Hardik. I have received correct answers, and I think Hardik is the first one to answer. Nitin, please recheck your answers. Rest all waiting for your answer. Okay, so I've received answer from Nayan Patil. And I think Nayan, your answers are also correct. Very good, Nayan. Okay, so I think Bhavna has also posted the answer. Bhavna, please check the total, my dear. Nayan, I think there is some mistake in your answer. Please recheck your answer. The capacity variance is incorrect. Bhavna Garg, all the answers are correct. So I have received correct answer from Hardik and Bhavna. Okay, so now Kasak Yadav also. 1 second, Kasak. Yes, Kasak, all the answers are correct. Prakriti, your calendar variance is correct. Nayan, please check your capacity variance, my dear. Dev Kumar, do repost the answer. Your answers were incorrect. Okay, so Dilip, all the answers are correct. Very good, Dilip. Sanya, as expected, very good. All the answers are correct. Anjali Kashyap, all the answers are correct. Very good, guys. So Anjali, Dilip, Sanya, Kasak, Bhavna, and Hardik, all the answers are correct. Nayan, please check your capacity variance, and Dev Kumar, please Dev Kumar and Nitin, please recheck your variances. So Bhaskar, you have posted only capacity variance, rest all variances. Bhaskar, your capacity variance is incorrect. Neeru, incorrect answer, my dear. So writing the final answer. So days, it is calendar. So 25 days we were supposed to work, but we work for only 24 days. 1 day less we worked. Very important, guys. We were supposed to work for 25 days, but we work for only 24 days. 1 day less we worked. into the rate per day. So this will be 16,000 hours. Very important. We were supposed to work for 25 days, but we worked only for 24 days. So 1 day less. So this will be adverse. Now it is correct, Nayan. Further capacity, 50,000 hours in 25 days. So in 24 days, what was our capacity? 50,000 hours in 25 days. So in 24 days, our capacity was for what? 48,000 hours. Our capacity was to work for 48,000 hours, but we actually work for how many hours? 54,000 hours. So how many hours extra we worked? 6,000 hours. Into the rate per hour, that is 8. So since we worked above our capacity, so this variance will be favorable, that is 48,000 favorable. Now efficiency, 1 lakh unit, 50,000 hours. 1 lakh unit, 50,000 hours. So 1 lakh 4,000 units, how many hours it should be completed? 52,000 hours only. 1 lakh unit, 50,000 hours में, so 1 lakh 4,000 units, how much hours we should have taken? 52,000 hours. But we actually took how many hours? 54,000 hours. That is 2,000 hours extra we took. It is my inefficiency. Into the rate per hour, that is 4 lakh divided by 50,000, that is 8. So this will be 16,000 hours. Still, I have not received answers from many of the students, guys. Sleeping or what? Okay, so I got answer from Nancy. 1 second. I got answer from Ankit Mishra. Your answers were correct. Nancy, very good. Your answers were correct. Akruma Ansari, very good. Your answers were correct. Raman, I think you have not posted the answer. I hope you are thorough with this concept of calendar capacity and efficiency. See, the point is, Tambeshwari, whether you are getting right or wrong, whatever it is, do post your answer. Nitin Prajapati, how come 8? So it is 8 per hour. So 4 lakh divided by 50,000 hours. Anyone else with any doubts? Very good, Raman. That's okay. All your answers are correct. So let's take one more question. So you are required to calculate cost and volume variance. Waiting for your answers now. First calculate cost and volume. Fixed overhead cost variance and fixed overhead volume variance. So waiting for your answers. Again, as I said, if the question is given in any other format, the point is first what you have to do is you have to prepare that table. That is budget and actual. So do prepare the table budget and actual, that is days, hours, and so giving you 10 minutes time to solve this question. So let's see who answers first. Waiting for your answers. You are required to calculate cost and volume variance. Sorry, guys. So Raman has posted the answers. First, Raman is the first one to answer. Rest all waiting for your answers. Quick. So yes, Bhavna, your answer is correct. Hardik, your answer is incorrect. Raman, your answers are correct. But now start calculating the calendar. Anjali Kashyap, I think your answers are correct. Very good, Anjali. Hardik, I'm surprised your answers are incorrect. Bhavna Garg, your answers are correct. So Sanya has posted all the answers, and I'm surprised, Sanya, your answers are incorrect this time. I think there is some mistake in calculating the number of units. So Kasak, yes, your answers are Kasak, please read. Okay, Kasak, your answers are correct. Rest everyone waiting for your giving you 10 minutes to solve this question. Very good, Nayan. Manvi, please recheck your answer. Sanya, please recheck your answer. Okay, guys, let me check. I think Hardik, your answer is also incorrect. Sorry. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Sorry, Sanya. I think your answer is correct. I think there was a mistake from my end. I calculated it by mistake. I think Hardik, your previous answers were correct. Yes, guys. So herein the key is what? See, the budgeted days are given, that is 25. Actual days are given, that is 26. Budgeted man hours per day, it will be 25. See, per day it is 4,000. So the total number of days are 25. So this will be 1 lakh. And actual hours are 1,08,000. When talking about the number of units, 48 minutes we require to manufacture one unit. One unit requires 48 minutes. One unit requires 48 minutes. So how many units are manufactured? Can you guys tell me? Waiting for your answers. Yes, Hardik, earlier your answer was correct. I think I calculated it by mistake. So what will be the number of units? Yes, waiting for your answers. Kasak, please recheck your answer. Bhavna Garg, please recheck your answer. Yes, Raman, it was incorrect. So see, the budgeted units will be 1,25,000 and the actual units are 76,000. Budgeted fixed overheads will be 4,80,000. And since we have expenditure variance is given, that is 50,000 Edwards. So it means actual overheads are 50,000 more than budgeted. So this will be 5,30,000. So this is the master chart, and once master chart is ready, you guys can solve all the question. Dev Kumar, yes, your answer was correct. It was my mistake, Dev. I'm sorry, my dear. See, 48 minutes divided by 60. So it means one unit take 0.8 hours. One unit take 0.8 hours. So the total hours are 1 lakh divided by 0.8. So this will be 1,25,000 units. Anyone else with any doubts or queries? It is not 180, it is 480. 4,80,000. So when talking about fixed overhead cost variance, 4,80,000 overheads for 1,25,000 units. So for 76,000 units, how much? Minus my actual overheads, that is 5,30,000. So 4,80,000 for 1,25,000 units. So for 76,000 units, how much? Minus 5,30,000. Two 38,160. Adverse. When talking about expenditure variance, it is 50,000 adverse given straight away. When talking about volume, we were supposed to manufacture 1,25,000 units. But we actually manufactured only 76,000 units. So how many units we manufactured less than what we targeted. 49,000 units. Since it is units, so we will take the rate per unit, that is 4,80,000 divided by 1,25,000. So this will be 3.84 per unit. So this will be 188, 160 adverse. So I think many students posted correct answer. So I think Dev Kumar was the first one to post correct answer. So I forgot. Sorry, Dev. Your answers were correct. Very good, Dev. The second one to post all the correct answers was Hardik. Then it was Sanya. Very good, Sanya. In fact, Sanya has posted all the answers. So very good, Sanya. She has posted cost, volume, calendar, capacity, efficiency. So very good, Sanya. I think you are now thorough with the concepts. Rest, Kasak and all your answers were incorrect. So I think now Dev has posted all the three answers, calendar, capacity, and efficiency. Rest all waiting for your answers. Raman, this time your answers are correct. Very good. Ankit, Nancy, Akrama, waiting for your answers, guys. When talking about calendar variance, we were supposed to work for 25 days, but we work for 26 days. 1 day extra we work, so it's a good sign for the company. So 4,80,000 divided by 25 will get the rate per day, that is 19,200. So this will be 19,200 favorable. Yes, it is correct. Nitin, it is correct. Very good, Hardik. Now Hardik has posted all the answers. So I think Sanya is the first one to post all the answers, followed by Hardik, Dev Kumar, sorry, followed by Dev Kumar, then Hardik. Very good, guys. But I need to check your final answer, Hardik. So when talking about capacity, again, we have the capacity to work for 1 lakh hours in 25 days. So in 26 days, our capacity was how much? 1,04,000 hours. But we work for how much? 1,08,000 hours. How many hours extra? 4,000 hours extra we worked into the rate per hour, that is 4,80,000 divided by 1 lakh. So it will be 4.8 per hour. So this will be 19,200 favorable. Very good, Rati Malini. Very good, Kasak. Again, when talking about efficiency, 1,25,000 units in 1 lakh hours. So 1 lakh hours were used for 1,25,000 units. So for 76,000 units, how many hours we were supposed to use? The work was supposed to be completed in 60,800 hours, but we actually took 1,08,000 hours. So 47,200 hours is my inefficiency into the rate per hour, that is 4.8. So this will be 226,560 adverse. I request you guys to copy the question and the solution. Very good, Rati Malini. Raman, please recheck your answers. Very good, Kasak. Very good, Bhavna. Your answers are correct. Hardik, your answers are correct. Nitin, your answers are correct. Neeru, please recheck your answer. Dev Kumar, what exactly you are finding it difficult? Can you please help me out? Manish sir, are you there? देव कुमार को आप अनम्यूट करेंगे? Yes, Dev, tell me.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Very good morning, my dear. Tell me.
सर यहाँ पर कैपेसिटी और एफिशिएंसी सिमिलर से लग रहे हैं, तो यहीं पर
Capacity, it's like what is our capacity and at what. See, the point is efficiency. Efficiency means what? सीधी और आसान भाषा में कि efficiency बोलता है कि काम कितने टाइम में करना चाहिए था और काम कितने टाइम में हुआ. That is what we call as efficiency. That is the work was supposed to be completed in how much time and actually how much time we took to complete the task. But when talking about capacity, capacity क्या बोलता है कि हमारा capacity कितना है और हमने कितने घंटे काम किया. So that is the difference. आप वर्ड्स पे देखिए, एफिशिएंसी मीन सीधी और आसान भाषा में. अगेन आई विल गिव यू अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल. लेट्स से यू हैव द कैपेसिटी टू स्टडी फॉर 12 hours a day. Okay, Let's say you have the capacity to study for 12 hours a day, but you are studying 16 hours a day. So 4 hours extra you are studying, so you are working above your capacity. It's a good sign. Now, this is capacity. Now, let's say you finish a particular chapter in productive 10 hours. Let's take another example wherein you take 10 hours to finish a chapter on an average. But this time you took 18 hours to finish that same chapter. So 8 hours is what your inefficiency. I hope this part is clear to you now. Yes, Dev? Are you there, Dev? देव कुमार,
यस सर, क्लियर सर।
समझ में आया? आपकी 12 घंटे पढ़ाई करने की कैपेसिटी है, बट आपने 16 घंटे काम किया, सो इट्स अ गुड साइन, सो वी कॉल इट एज कैपेसिटी। ना एक चैप्टर खत्म करने में आपको 10 घंटे लगते हैं, बट आपने 18 घंटे लगा दिए, सो 8 आवर्स इज योर व्हाट इनएफिशिएंसी। समझ में आया?
यस सर।
श्योर ना?
सर आई नीड सम प्रैक्टिस, आई थिंक।
Better you just check the recorded session and again solve few questions. You will be thorough with the concepts. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now let's start with the last part of the chapter, that is variable overhead. The very easy part, wherein again you have to arrange the question in this way: budget and actual. Let's say hours are 30,000 and 33,000. Units, it is 30,000 and 32,500. And let's say overheads are, variable overheads are 60,000 and 70,000. Variable overheads are 60,000 and 70,000. Now, this much information is only required for variable overhead. So if days are given in the question, then better ignore the days for calculation of variable overhead variances. So for variable overhead variances, very simple guys, only this much information is required. Now, first one is variable overhead cost variance. Again, it talks about under or over absorption of overhead. So 60,000 overheads for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 65,000 are my absorbed overheads. And my actual overheads are 70,000. So this is 5,000 adverse. Again, the concept is just similar to fixed overhead. So absorbed overheads minus actual overheads. So 60,000 overheads for 30,000 units, it means the absorption rate is 2 per unit. So 32,500 into 2, that is 65,000 are my absorbed overheads, minus actual overhead 70,000, so 5,000 adverse. Now next is variable overhead expenditure variance. See, fixed overhead expenditure variance we calculated straight away. That is, fixed overhead remain constant at all the level of production, so we calculated it straight away. But when talking about variable overhead expenditure variance, we have to consider the hours also. So 60,000 overheads for how many hours? 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 hours, how much should be my overheads? 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 hours, how much should be my overhead? 66,000 should be my overhead. And my actual overheads are how much? 70,000. So this is 4,000 adverse. As the variable overheads keeps on changing, that's why मैंने straight away 60 minus 70 नहीं किया. Variable overhead keeps on changing. So 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000 hours, how much? 66 minus actual overhead 70,000. So this will be 4,000 adverse. And last is variable overhead efficiency. Again, the same concept, the same pattern. Dev Kumar, please pay attention. 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. 30,000 units, 30,000 hours. 1 unit, 1 hour. So for 32,500 units, how many hours? 32,500 hours. But we actually took how many hours? 33,000 hours. 500 hours is my inefficiency. Into, since it is hours, so we'll be taking the rate per hour, that is 60,000 divided by 30,000. So it will be 2 per hour. 500 hours will remain same. The rate we have applied is changed. So this is all what about variable overhead. Very good, Bhavna. I hope this part is clear to all. It's just like fixed overheads only, but a slight change in expenditure variance. So the cost variance, no change. Efficiency variance, no change. And expenditure variance, yes, there is a small change. Rest, it's same. That is expenditure plus efficiency will be cost. No Dev Kumar, there is no capacity, there is no calendar, no volume, nothing. Simply three variants: cost, expenditure, and efficiency. That's it. So anyone else with any doubts or queries, guys? I'm done with this chapter. Today, I think we have not taken any break. So I hope you guys are thorough with what I have discussed till now. Anyone having any doubts or queries, you guys can please post your query. Total overhead variance is fixed overhead cost variance plus variable overhead cost variance. Rati Malini, very simple, my dear. Again, when talking about cost variance, we will calculate it in similar way. That is 60,000 for 30,000 units. So for 32,500 units, how much? 65 minus 70. So the calculation is just similar to fixed overhead cost variance. Again, this calculation is also similar to fixed overhead fixed overhead variance. But herein there is a change. 60,000 overheads for 30,000 hours. So for 33,000, what is 33,000 hours? How much? 66. And the actual overheads are 70. So this is how 4,000 adverse. We'll try to post Hardik. Rest all, I think you are thorough with the concept. Rati Malini, any doubts? See, this concept, Rati Malini, and this concept is same. Just copy paste. The difference is here in expenditure variance, wherein we have to give the impact of change in hours. That's it. If the question asks for calendar variance, it will be only fixed overhead calendar variance. Total overhead is fixed plus variable, Hardik. So when talking about fixed overhead, very important, guys, calendar plus capacity plus efficiency will be what? Volume. And volume plus expenditure will be cost. But in variable, it's only two. So expenditure plus efficiency will be cost variance. So this is all what about this chapter. Those who want to copy this part can please copy. In the meanwhile, anyone having any doubts or queries relating to this chapter, you guys can please post. We'll try to keep a query session. It's already 9:20 now. Tambeshwari. And I think you posted one question. So let me check, Tambeshwari. Whatever the question is, be ready with all the question. I'll try to keep a query session for me attempt. Don't worry. Anyone else? Raman, Nancy, Ankit, Mr. Balachandran, I think you are absent today. Anyways, guys, so this is all what about standard costing. Again, don't try to memorize the formula. Try to learn the concepts. You will find this chapter very easy and very interesting also. Let's see. You will be informed, Tambeshwari. So the point is focus on the concepts. Initially, I mean, there are few students who are still not thorough with the concepts. So the point is practice is the key. Try to practice as many as question possible. I assure you, you guys, once you practice, I assure you, you will be thorough with the concept. And then the recorded sessions are available, so you can check the recorded sessions also for better understanding. So, guys, that's it for the day. Take care of yourself. Do solve all the questions of standard costing. I assure you guys that once you practice, you will be thorough with the concepts. Still, what I can figure out is that most of the students are thorough, and I was getting correct answer from you guys. But still, there are few students, so do practice. The practice is the key. Solve all the questions of study material plus past examination question, past RTPs, MTPs, whatever you get. Just try to solve as many as possible question as you can. So till then, take care, guys. God bless you. See you in the coming session. Thank you so much. Admin, sir? Yes. Thank you.